Welcome, AfterBuzzers. You are watching the after show for Queen Sugar Season 4, Episode 2, I No Longer Imagine. Tonight we talk Micah's return, Nova's fallout, and new beginnings. Stay tuned for more.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Welcome, Queen Sugar fans. We are back. Another exciting Episode 2. I'm your host, Shaka Smith, joined by my lovely co-host, Candice Marie and Dontera Terrell. Tonight we got some great special segments for you. We're going to go into the Big Easy scene, talk about news and predictions, but we got to get into our overall thoughts of this episode because, wow, they are just going deeper and deeper. History, everything's coming out. What do you guys think?
I just want to say that I have a chill running through my body right now. I'm pissed, but I'm excited, and I just have so many different emotions. I don't even know what to say.
Maybe a chill called Jimmy Dell.
Oh my God, that thing.
You know, juicy, salacious. I feel like everything's unfolding. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not excited in terms of the book, but I'm excited to see how everything unfolds.
Yeah, I'm excited because we're getting payoffs. We're getting like people that were referenced briefly and coming back, and we're getting the history unfolding. We're getting to see things that we weren't sure we would get a chance to see. So that's what's exciting for me.
Yes, definitely.
Well, let's get into it. We got to talk about Micah's return. He has returned with an all-new swagger. Candy, what did you think about this sort of new Micah?
Micah has not just returned, he's arrived.
Yeah, wow.
Micah, like, who is this guy? First of all, he has dreads, okay? Yeah. Secondly, he's getting in fights, okay? Like, he kicked that guy's ass. I think it's safe to say that Micah has finally arrived, and I think that Nova is definitely running through his veins.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, for myself, was a little concerned with how okay I was that he beat that kid up. Did you have that same concern? Are you worried about his behavior for the season, Dontera?
Yes, because I felt he's young. Yeah. And, I mean, he looks good.
Wait a minute, what are we talking about?
He's a baby. He's a baby.
What are we talking about?
I did have to catch myself. I was like, ooh, okay. But, yes, you know, he's young. He's sort of unpredictable. He's still trying to figure out himself. Well, I feel like he figured out himself. Yeah. He knows what it is. He knows what he wants. He may become a little bit of a hothead, you know? But I like it. I feel like when you're young, you have to make mistakes. You learn. That's how you grow. And he's maturing. I love the fact that he's maturing and he's coming into his own. And although his mom doesn't necessarily agree with his coming of age, I love it because he's living his life for himself, not for his mother.
Yeah, and what I liked about it, you know what, maybe why I wasn't that concerned he got violent, was it seemed so purposeful. It seemed like he was somewhat controlled, but it seemed very purposeful. He was holding a line. He was, he had this ideological thing that he was really trying to stand up for. But what I also loved was the conversation between Micah and his mom. I've had literally the same exact conversation with my mom about my hair because it's like dreading as well. and same conversation because back in the day she'd relaxed her hair and then started to go natural. But it was like not fine for me. Did you guys have any resonance with that conversation and maybe like with your own hair journeys?
Actually, I was thinking about that with my hair right now. I know probably 2008, 2009, Dontera, when I had first entered corporate America, I was always trying to please everyone. So I would I always used to love to get braids, but I was always hesitant of getting braids, just in fear of how, my boss will react, how my clients will react. So definitely, I feel like the hair journey for Black women, it always runs through the back of your mind, like how will people perceive you?
Yeah. Right.
So yeah.
I'm so glad that you said that because, to be honest with you, I've been natural for quite some time, and it's always pissed me off. You guys know that I'm the crazy one on the panel, but it's always pissed me off that, Black people couldn't own their Blackness. And a lot of our Blackness stems from our hair. Yeah. It really bothered me that we had to, in a sense, change who we were, which was something that was natural, growing out of our head, and it wasn't socially acceptable. Yeah. So I really appreciate the writers for adding this in about Micah and him owning his hair and locking it up. Because where I come from Florida, and a lot of people have dreads. It's either dreads or goals, and a lot of people really own that. So it's really really refreshing for them to show that from a millennial standpoint on this show.
Yeah, it was sort of, for me, it was like, is it a generational divide or is it just a parental divide? Where it's like she is legitimately concerned if people will look at him differently. His life might be in more danger if he's pulled over by a cop, let's say. So she had some legitimate concerns. But I just love the way Micah stood in it, because I kind of did that myself. I was like, I'm doing it. I have to own it at this point. I'm never going to, right?
But they both had valid points.
Yeah.
Like, I understood where both of them were coming from.
Yeah.
But like you said, Micah, he owned his crown.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you didn't have a problem with my hair last year. She was like, it was a fade. Yeah. It could be perceived differently. So I definitely understand the dynamics of both.
Yeah, I love that Queen Sugar has those conversations, because we just never got a chance to have those conversations before. But if you want to have more conversations with us, I think you can check us out on AfterBuzz.
Yes, guys, because as you know, we are the ESPN of TV Talk. So continue to grow with us, because we could actually use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. That's so important, to get involved in the conversation. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly, truly appreciate your support and helping us do what we love. So don't forget to tell your friends, your family, and all that in between, and keep enjoying this show.
Yes, and even if you nice. And even if you watch on YouTube, go subscribe on iTunes, or if you subscribe on iTunes, go subscribe on YouTube. Just give us that extra support. We really appreciate you guys. So, but let's get into Nova's fallout. That was sort of...
Which one?
Hell yeah.
Things are about to heat up.
And breathe
we all
out.
have to take a deep breath.
Yeah, I think next episode, the big fallout, we're really going to get some more of it. But what did you guys think? At least it was cathartic for me just to have it all come to light and people actually face her over it. What did you think about Rod's face-off with Nova?
You know what? Listen, he did better than I would have ever done.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, it's just, Rod's been through so much. We've been rooting for Rod all 4 seasons, and for him to get to this place, and this book literally to me was a slap in the face. I think he was very justified in the way he felt. He is still learning how to deal with the fact that Blue is not his son. So because, like I said the last episode, those emotions still haven't healed, she's literally going to go and open it back up. The comment that I think that was her manager, her marketing manager made, your story, it was just so, what did she say?
It was heartbreaking.
It was heartbreaking. First of all, his heart still hasn't even healed from the story. So it really bothers me that Nova can just stand in the fact that she's released and revealed all of these stories, and she still has not even talked to her family. She still doesn't even have their blessing.
Yeah, and it wasn't his story, it's his life, because he's living it now. It's not
he's
like she
living
told
it
the story
right
when
now.
he was,
It's happening.
Yeah, it's not 10 years old, and it's now.
Right.
What did you think about that face-off?
She really made me mad when she said, the story is going to help so many people.
Yeah.
And I loved his reaction or his response back when he was like, my story isn't for everyone. I'm not your research project.
Come on.
Yeah.
Which is so true. If you want to help people, let your story, Nova, help people. Don't bring mine, Blue, my son, and generations down the line.
Yeah.
I still think, I love the way, I don't want to say I love the way he handled it, because like I said, like you said, he handled it a lot better.
and I really hate that she was trying to own the fact that she laid herself bare, but the whole point is you laid yourself bare in accordance to you.
Exactly.
No one else laid you bare.
Right.
But she's not taking ownership.
Yeah.
At all. She keeps, if someone says something to her about the book, she has this excuse and explanations. I'm like, sis, you've done enough damage. Just be quiet.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's be honest, when has Nova ever really owned anything? She's never really owned anything. Everything she tries to justify, it's because of this or it's because of that. Look, if I was Ralph Angel, I would have broke more shit than that. I would have came in that house breaking every damn thing. He broke a picture frame. What?
Yeah.
Well, no, I felt that at the end when he was like, you lost your rights to see my son.
Yeah.
I said, and then he said, superstar. I said, ooh. I felt that.
It's like Ralph.
Yes.
But did we not? But do you agree at all with Nova's points, or does Nova's points not acquit her at all? That Ralph Angel really is a father, and this will somehow help other people and show them that family is more than just.
Okay. Well,
blood.
let's look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Let's look at the bigger picture. First of all, you would rather sacrifice your family. That in and of itself is sending the wrong message. You would rather sacrifice your family and hurt the people that are the closest to you, your biggest supporters, just so that you can help the world. No, because I'm sure that story is going to get out and people are going to talk about that. Because let's be real, Charley, my girl Charley, and I can't wait till we get on that topic. Charley is going to shut it down.
And speaking of, what about Charley? Do you feel it's right for Charley to have paid Melina to keep her rape story quiet? Did she enable rape culture, and should that be exposed?
I don't necessarily think that she was trying to enable rape culture. I think that she was trying to take care of the situation.
But you paid off a woman to keep quiet about rape.
And I don't agree with that whatsoever.
So is it okay that Nova revealed that part in the book?
I still think that these are conversations that should have been had with her family, with her sister, before they were published. Point blank. Yeah. I don't agree. Like, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a big fan of Charley in season 1 because I genuinely felt like she was put in a really, really tough place. You know, she was married to this man that she had known, you know, since she was in high school. And, she had to battle with this man cheating on her. She didn't know he was cheating on her and doing all these things and paying off. It was just a lot, and I think that she was trying to just save her family and save her son. So
I agree,
she made a lot of choices that I don't agree with, though.
But do you think, Dontera, that Nova overstepped her bounds, given the fact that the story was public? Well, because with Charley, I was kind of saying to myself, did Nova overstep the bounds? The story was public. She did speak about Charley in kind of a personal way, but very academic, and talking about what she saw as her blackness and the way she may have cloaked herself. So while I thought it was a little impersonal, but I thought these were issues that were big, and Charley and Davis are adults.
You know, I definitely do think that she overstepped her boundaries. One, because she didn't receive her sister's blessings in the beginning. Had she had that discussion, then okay, they probably could have moved forward. And we don't know, even though she said it was public knowledge, we don't know how much of it was public knowledge. We also don't know how much of it she revealed. But in her bringing this up in the book and revealing all of this, then it opens up the can of worms all over again. Charley even said when she was on her date that she took her 2 years to move past this, and she's still trying to move past this. So now this is bringing up everything back up once again. So she definitely overstepped her boundaries.
And I think by Nova saying that it was public knowledge was, again, another way for her not to own her shit.
Yeah. I mean,
point blank.
I kind of agree with Nova up until the point where she does know that her special relationship with Micah might affect the way he's going to view his mom in light of this book. And, you know, Nova seemed to pull no punches in her description of the way the way Charley used what she thought was part of her whiteness.
Ooh, now that part, oh my gosh. I think that as a multiracial woman, that was something that I could relate to, because I don't think that it was fair that, one, Nova even added those kind of comments, because she's never even shared the way that she felt about that with her sister. They've never even had that conversation. When she made the statement, "Now I know how you really feel about me," like why wasn't that a conversation that she had with her before she even put it in the book? Again, every single thing that was published in that book, there were conversations that she never stepped up and had.
And what bothered me is she didn't just assume the privilege that she may have enjoyed. She said that she used that privilege. And that's what bothered me, is that now you've just given her some intent and are saying her actions are based on something that you have no idea about.
Exactly. And just going back to the multiracial part, I think that Charley, and what we've known of Charley has always been a hard worker. Mm-hmm. So exactly. I think that maybe that is something that Nova is personally dealing with on her own. And let's be real, Charley, it's not her fault that she was born into this rich family. But because she has known that, her humility has literally been her working her butt off to prove that she deserves to be exactly where she is. And I think that that's what we love and we respect about her more than anything.
Yeah, I agree.
I felt like Nova's statements took away, like you said, from her intelligence, from Charley's intelligence. Like, she didn't speak to her hard work, her dedication, just her overall work ethic. Yeah. She spoke to her being privileged. Yeah. And that's in Nova's eyes. Yeah. And also, let's be real, Nova still has some resentment about, just Charley sort of, I wouldn't say, she wasn't the family secret, but, she's sort of like that love child, if you will. Yeah. So I feel like Nova still has a little resentment, and it carried out into the book. But also, these are conversations you should have had.
Exactly.
Granted, I feel like Charley always knew that Nova had a sense of resentment, but to that extent, she's like, wait a minute.
And certainly you're not going to publish it to the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and then let's just talk about, again, is it really Charley's fault that she was a love child? Charley didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
And then, if we can recall in season 3, she wasn't necessarily a love child. Her mother and her father were broken up.
Yeah.
This was a real relationship that he actually had with Charley's mother. So again, that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know, that's going back to Nova's hurt and her pain and things that she needs to go to therapy for.
Yeah, and perhaps one of the hardest things is going to be what we already get a preview of with Aunt Vi. And I have a feeling we're going to see her, we're going to see the more fiery side. But I was already hurt just watching this little bit of her starting to read the book. How did you guys feel just watching her take that in? And especially the words.
Aunt Vi?
Yeah.
I was heartbroken for Aunt Vi because I feel like Aunt Vi has given so much and sacrificed so much for her family to protect the family structure, to protect the dynamics and the legacy, and Nova just like shitted all over it.
Right. I think, like we've been saying, Vi is such a powerful force. We have so much respect for her because of what she's gone through. And I'm going to be honest, for me as an individual, whenever I look at people that I love and I respect and I adore, the majority of them are powerful people simply because they were able to go through what they've gone through and still come out and still be the matriarch of their family. I don't think it's fair that Nova is so quick to judge and to point and to put everybody else's business out there. It's just so, like, honestly, this episode, it's really hard for me to articulate the way I feel because I am more pissed off and hurt than anything.
Yeah, because she almost abused her trust, her position in the family. She was there for Ra's paternity test because of who you are and your support, but now you're using that in your book.
Exactly.
You were there for when Aunt Vi is talking about Jimmy Dale and how she's gotten over it but doesn't want to talk about it and it's left in her past, but now you're using that in your book. So I think that's where it felt like she betrayed all of us. And I think we had that line from Charley, like, this is a betrayal. It's not love, it's a betrayal.
Right. So I feel like her intentions for being there for all those people, they weren't pure. They weren't sincere.
Yeah, or at least this ruins those intentions if those were pure and sincere.
At all. My question to Nova is do you feel? Yeah. Like, do you really feel? Like, how can you literally be a part of this family and think that Charley is not going to read the book as soon as this is your very first like book deal.
And at this point,
like, you really don't think they're going to like Charley especially is going to read it as soon as you give it to her?
Yeah. And of course I kind of get it, but at this point, and the lady already said it's too late, but wouldn't you now, like, I'm going to do everything I can to get this book off the shelf. Like, like, why haven't you realized and are now working towards, like, okay, epiphany moment, I got to stop this.
I feel like that's lawsuits. That's
come on, come on.
I don't know, but still, your lawsuit over your family, like
right.
Which it looks like you're going to lose.
Right.
But let's talk about some new beginnings. Some happy, some not so happy.
We need some positivity.
Yeah, let's start off with a happy beginning, and let's talk about Ra and Disha because now things are starting to heat up. We had a couple moments. You look good in that. You look good in anything.
Can we do this again?
I saw you took that as a personal compliment.
You know what, Ralph? As y'all know. Ralph has been bae for as long as I can remember. But I see what y'all are saying. I do think that love is definitely in the air. I think Disha is definitely a good choice. And y'all know it takes a lot for me to say that, but she seems like exactly what Ralph Angel needs. She seems like she's a very patient, very strong, very kind woman that can support him. She knows about the farm, which also is important. She's not one of these little city girls that aren't afraid to, get dirt on him. I like Disha. I like her for him.
And like I don't know if she's been through some stuff in life, but sometimes it's good to be with someone that hasn't been and that can be light and let you relax too.
Come on.
Right?
And can we say how beautiful? Disha is gorgeous.
Yes.
She is bad.
Yes.
Okay.
And I know last week we talked a little bit about whether or not Ra and Darla had a little thing. And I think this confirmed for me he really is over whether Darla is dating or not. No. You got to remember, Darla was prostituting and leaving Blue alone. Like, Darla now has a kid that's not your own. You've heard everything with Darla. Her dating's not going to really be any water off your back, right? So, and we see that Darla seems to be the one that's hurting. So, what do you think about this new beginning for their relationship and Darla's potential new beginning with this guy in her group?
I don't think anything of Ralph Angel and Darla's relationship. Just because you have history together, that water under the bridge. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just move forward and try to co-parent. No.
Candy's still holding out hope.
Let me know when I can tap in on this conversation. Okay, sis. Okay, sis. I don't want to cut you off, sis, because you know we have nothing but love for each other on this panel. I think that there is still some hope. I got a little nervous though when Ralph Angel sighed. Listen, whenever somebody makes you sigh, like. There might just be a chance. And when they were like in those chairs, I was like, oh my God, what's happening right now? I was about to pull my hair out of my head. But I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. But I will say that they will always love each other.
I love their co-parenting
I'm going to always
thing,
hold on to that. The reason why I think that there might still be a chance is because that friendship that they had when they were kids, because let's be honest, they started to fall in love with each other when they were teenagers. I think that friendship is going to come back and it's going to remind them of what they used to have. Come on, if you're in the chat, I need y'all to, to tap in and weigh in on this. Support your girl.
That's going to support their good parenting habits and their good co-parenting habits, I think. But the PTSD you would go through of getting back with her getting pregnant again, is my kid again? The PTSD would be too much. I would just be like constantly questioning.
Look. Let it go. Should we start singing?
The Frozen. Can we get that Frozen song?
Right.
What do you guys think about Darla's beginning with her guy in group though? And she's taking it slow. I like that.
I am so proud of Darla's growth. I love how much her character has evolved from season 1. It's very refreshing to see her be the woman that, I'm not going to say all of us thought she could be. I definitely saw this woman. She just had to deal with some of these skeletons. And now that she's dealing with them, it's refreshing to see this new refined version of Darla, because everybody deserves love. She's been through a lot too, and that's one of the things I don't think we always talk about, is how much she's been through. So I appreciate the fact that she finds someone that she likes. She found someone that can support her in these AA meetings, because I think that's also very important as someone that's an addict, that you find somebody that can support you and not judge you. And that was something that Ralph Angel was not doing. He was being very judgmental.
He was in it.
Exactly. Which, I mean, I get it.
I'm going to judge you.
But I mean, like, for how long are you going to continue to beat her with this stick?
As long as the kid's alive. Every time I'm just saying.
But didn't Darla, wasn't she progressing not last season or season before, and then she sort of fell back off the wagon? So I'm not,
but she didn't really fall off. Did she really fall off the wagon though? Did she really fall off the wagon?
She had to take some time for herself.
She was tiptoeing back and forth, back in,
But I like that this guy is part of her support network and part of her support group, and I think she's going to need that, especially when these details of the book come out, because that's going to maybe set you, how far back. So we'll see about that.
Can I just make one more comment? My boy Frank Will TV, I just want to shout him out real quick. He's definitely Team Darla and Ralph Angel. He says this new guy is not going to work. He said Ralph Angel saw her kissing that brother, and deep down he knows that should have been him.
I think Dee's going to have something to say about that. Right. Dee's is looking pretty good. But let's talk about one of your other favorites is Romero and Charley. And again, they're still pretty new, and I'm loving their dynamic. What do you guys think about their dynamic and the way Romero seems to support Charley in a different way?
Will he still support her after this book, though?
Well,
because remember he asked, he said, is everything in this book a lie?
But he also said he won't read the book, right? Didn't he say, I'm not going to read the book?
He did say that.
And I feel like Ralph Angel agreed that he was going to wait till Charley come before he read the book, and look what happened with that.
But Ralph Angel's always been emotional. He's been emotional since season 1, so that's no surprise.
And plus he's in the book. I mean, like, Romero is like really down for Charley. He's not even going to read the book. He thinks whatever, like, if it's not for you, it's not for me, and I love that.
I mean, I feel like I might tell my partner that, but I'll tell my boo that.
You gotta take a couple.
As soon as that book hits the newsstand, I'm like, let's see.
Okay, you know what? I just want to say that Romero is a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
For Charley. Lord, I'm about to say Darla. Romero is such a breath of fresh air. I feel like he has been the perfect choice for her, and I'm so happy with the writer's decision to write his character in, and the way that his character is just being developed. I'm so in love with how this is turning out. I have to say that Romero, I think that he's coming from a non-judgmental place which again is very, very important. I think that he is going to be that voice of reason, because we know when Charley has her heart set on on getting to the bottom of something, that's exactly what she's going to do. And I think Romero's going to keep her from going too far.
Well, yeah, and there was one line, I think this was a line, she said, I have to fix it. And he said something like, maybe you can't fix it, you just have to live through it. Mm-hmm. And it was like, that's what she needs to hear. Like, sometimes people can, empower you and say, let me help you fix it. Or they can kind of really empower you and balance you out and say, wait, maybe that's not the answer.
And that's the balance that she needs.
Exactly.
That reality. He's going to keep it like, well, what if?
Yeah.
What if you can't fix this? Because she's so used to being the fixer. Mm-hmm. She's always been the fixer. She said it herself. I'll fix it.
Yeah.
She's always trying to fix everyone and everything, and that's why she's always so stressed out.
Definitely Superwoman. Mm-hmm. She wears many capes.
And we have another little new beginning, and not really a new beginning, but just nice to see Kiki back again with Micah real quick. We all kind of were like, okay, Kiki's back, right?
I love this teenage love affair. Yeah. It reminds me of Alicia Keys. Remember that?
That was my song. Yes. Yes, sis. I have to agree. Kiki. Do you love me? Yeah. You know what, Kiki, we love you. We really, really love you. Kiki is exactly what Micah needs. I hope that she continues to be that voice of reason for him. It's, all of our characters need this voice of reason. Yeah. And the balance that they provide, love it.
And at that age, to have a long-distance relationship from Paris, and you're already like a social media star, you got to be grounded. So I'm liking the way this relationship's going. So
I like Kiki.
So it's nice to get some bright spots during this episode.
Definitely.
But we got some great segments. We got our big easy scene. Let's go into that. Don Terra's got a couple words for us about Mardi Gras in Louisiana.
Yes. Y'all ready to dive in?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do you get any Mardi Gras music, anything in the booth? No? Okay, let's go.
So have either of you two ever been to Mardi Gras?
No.
I went to Mardi Gras as a kid, so I didn't see the salaciousness, but I got to be part of the city.
Well, no, that's good because Mardi Gras isn't all about salaciousness and showing your goods and all that. It's actually deep-rooted in tradition.
Yeah. So no tata.
I mean, I got a few coconuts and beads, and I didn't have to show anything.
Okay, girl. We're going to talk about them beads.
Yeah. What happened to Mardi Gras stays in Mardi Gras.
Well, Mardi Gras is actually French for Fat Tuesday, and it always falls the day before Ash Wednesday, and that is the first day of Lent. So, as one last time to live it up before the reflective and meditative days of Lent takes place, Fat Tuesday officially marks the ending of carnival season. Now, we just talked about the beads, so we can't forget about the infamous bead throwing and the color symbolism surrounding the purple, green, and gold. Around 1892, these colors became interchangeable with Mardi Gras when Rex, who's also known as the King of Mardi Gras, affirmed these three colors as the official color scheme. Purple symbolizing justice, green representing faith, and gold signifying power. And one last festive fact about Mardi Gras, king cake. So delicious.
Ooh.
New Orleans staple. But it's an extremely popular custom that holds a large amount of religious sentiment.
There you go.
Oh, is that our Mardi Gras music?
Yeah, I got a little Mardi Gras music going on.
I love it.
Yeah,
wait, sorry, I'm feeling it. I'm sorry. Took me back to Mardi Gras for a second, sorry. But an extremely popular custom, it holds a large amount of religious sentiment that represents the three kings who brought gifts to the Christ child. A plastic baby is usually baked inside each king cake. And the person who receives the baby within their slice of cake must either throw the next party or purchase the next king cake.
Wow, that is tradition. Well, I learned something new.
Can we get some king cake in here?
Yeah, right.
The next episode. You guys want to see us with some king cake? I wonder who's going to get the baby.
AfterBuzz production, get on that. And then we got some great news.
Yes, well, I just want to say that
interesting news.
This is definitely interesting. Well, as you know, we have someone who apparently is in charge of the country by the name of Trump. And he is just, listen, are we ever surprised by anything he says? Well, our girl Ava DuVernay knows how to shut down all types of mess like she does when she writes all of these shows and episodes. Well, let's just say that she was completely unbothered by the comments that Donald Trump had to make about her recent Netflix hit. She said, it's expected. Really, are we surprised? There's nothing he says or does in relation to this case or the lives of black people or people of color that has any weight to it. It's not our reality. There's no truth to it. That is how you unbotheredly shut an ignorant person down.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked to hear he was standing by, essentially stood by his comments from 1989.
You were shocked?
I was shocked that he would bother to even comment on it. I would say no comment or something to, but the fact that you really affirmatively stand by it, I was a little bit shocked by it actually.
He doesn't like to be wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
seems to be wrong. So.
Okay, let's move right along. Let's not waste too much time on him. Also, our amazing cast of Queen Sugar was down at the ABFF this weekend in Miami, and Ralph Angel talked about what it's like to actually crash. So he told us that his storyline causes him to crash, and I don't mean vehicle crashes in any kind of way. He gave us some advice. He said, at the beginning of this journey, I was oblivious to the weight that I was carrying, which kind of made me crash. Once I realized how much was being channeled through me, even just as the vessel, I realized you have to take care of your vessel. What's a Ferrari with no gas? It's just going to sit there. It can't go anywhere, he explains.
Yeah. It's great. You have to live this life where you have to be this other person and to really feel the emotions of that and to sit there and live in it. Yeah.
But you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Self-care, yeah.
It's a lot, yeah. Yeah, so that's my news
Oh,
for
that's
today.
I was riveted. I was like, keep going.
I can keep
I always
going.
listen when Ralph Angel talks. I'm like, yeah, so what else did he say?
He had a lot to say, but do you guys want to hear more of what Ralph Angel had to say, or should we get back to this intense? Oh, well, there's a lot. There are a few more paragraphs.
We'll have to bring that up in other segments. We're limited on time.
We'll post it on the chat, maybe.
Yes.
Don't copy and paste it.
Actually, post it.
Yeah, post it in the chat, guys.
But we got to get into our predictions. Of course, we had another little... Yeah, that's good music.
And now, your AfterBuzz TVs.
And of course, we had another little new beginning of Jimmy Dell, who I love the way they've kind of just interspersed him as this charismatic guy throughout the episode, but you always feel like something is sinister underneath. Let's go into predictions for Mr. Jimmy Dell and any predictions you guys might have.
Okay, first of all, he's a narcissist. Let's start there. So are we really... Dell? Absolutely. He's a narcissist.
You got that
from what you've seen so far?
Listen to me. My girl Vi made it very clear who he is and what he is about.
Okay.
So just from knowing, and I'm gonna stick to Vi. Like, I'm loyal to my girl Vi. Just from hearing her experiences with this person, and just, you can even just tell just the way that he was talking and acting. I'm not on his Dale's,
it been many years
whatever
now?
his name is.
What if he's changed?
I don't think he's reformed whatsoever. I think he's a narcissistic man that is trying to sabotage Vi's peace and her happiness. And you know what? Hollywood gonna come in there and he gonna shut it down.
Wait a minute. Okay,
because why do you want to go to Vi's Prize Pies? Why?
Wait, Don
why?
Terry.
He's heard about it. Why?
Wait, Don Terry. He stopped at the side of the road to help an old lady. He encouraged a young lady to start her own business.
Don't be bamboozled.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Narcissistic behavior.
That's manipulative. So he comes off as charismatic and this charming guy, and then bam.
Wait a minute. He's being kind to two people he will never see again.
Stop it.
No,
whose
seriously.
side are you really on, Shaka?
I'm just saying, I'm looking at what I'm seeing from Mr. Dell so far. And it's been, I'm assuming it's been 20, 30 years since him and Vi been together. What if he's changed and he's really there to make amends? What if he's
tell
going...
by that smirk on his face he didn't change. He said, oh, it's that new diner. You know what diner, you know where it's at.
He might be happy for an old friend, you know?
No, this is Queen Sugar. This show is built on suspense. It's built on betrayal. It's built on crazy storylines, and I cannot wait to see what kind of mess this fool gets himself into.
So, what predictions do you guys have for Jimmy Dell and then the rest of the cast?
So, Jimmy Dell, I feel like he's about to come in there and shake it up. For me, I'm like, what if he comes in there and he tries to take ownership of Aunt Vi's pies? Like, be like, well, I gave you the recipe, or this is my grandma's. I taught you how to do this. So I just feel like, in terms of the business aspect, I feel like he's coming back for what's his or what he taught Aunt Vi. I don't see any other reason. Like, why is he back? He doesn't know about Nova's book yet. So what's his other purpose of coming back?
I think he's going to try and act like he wants that old thing back just a little bit.
That's right. I think he does want her back.
But after 30 years, like, what triggered him to be like, oh, I'm going to go back and get Vi?
I don't know what it's like when you get to an older age, when maybe you go, oh, the first love, and you want to go back and make amends, and now you realize how short life is. I think he's going to make a play for Vi. And I think he's going to be successful. I think we're going to see him. And when I say successful, I think he's going to cause Vi to doubt and to think, and that's going to maybe do something with
I think you're making my skin crawl right now. My skin is literally crawling off of my body.
I don't know.
And it's about to walk out of the studio.
Was Jimmy Dell her first love?
I don't know. It don't matter because this love ain't coming back.
Let me tell
Hit the road, Jack.
Ain't nothing like the first love.
What's love got to do with it?
Come on.
So
We about to have some waiting to exhale moments.
Right.
Come
We about to have a
on.
whole another soundtrack.
And do you guys think this book is coming out? Is it going to get out, or is Charley going to find a way to stop it?
I think it's going to get out.
It's gonna get. Let me just say this. Now, Charley, yes, she's the fixer. She's a superwoman. But can we trust Charley's game plans? Because she disappointed me with the Landrys last season.
Yeah, a little off. On her game, but a little off her
Let's
game.
be honest.
Right,
A lot of the things that happened, she couldn't, there was so much. She can't do it all by herself. And that's what I want her to get this season. I want her to get some more support. That's why I'm happy about Romero. But she can't do it by herself. And now she genuinely does have the support of Vi, Ralph Angel, because this affects everyone.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's no surprise because everything else has affected everyone before. But this time it's a little more personal. It's a little different.
Yeah, they're finding, it's always been an outside threat, not an inside threat.
Oh, yeah.
So, wow.
I have one more prediction.
Yeah, of course.
This has nothing to do with Jimmy Dell, though. But can we talk about it?
Oh, yeah.
I think Micah and Nova might have a falling out. Only because Nova, she handed the book off to the nephew. I want you to have the first coffee. Once again, she still never explained the dynamics of the book and everything that he might hear or forewarn him. So I do feel like it might be some falling out.
I go the opposite way where I really think it's going to set him against Charley, and this will always, keep Nova and Charley apart. Because you already see Micah is already like, you don't like my hair. It was Nova that really paid attention to me when she covered me up, and she was one that really saw me. So he's already got this animosity towards his mom, and now thinking of her and this new dynamic that Nova has really painted for her, it's going to be hard for him not to be as an activist to almost see his mom as something other.
Or maybe he'll bounce back and forth.
Yeah, I think we're really going to see him on the fence because I feel like whenever writers play on something in particular, like that line to me said that it's going to play with his mind. When he made that comment about what she did for him, I was like, there's going to be some trouble in paradise. I think that we're going to really see him battle with whether or not Aunt Nova is really genuine in her actions, or if it's really just about the press, or if it's really just about being famous. Because what we know of Micah right now is what happened to him with Officer Orso. That really struck a nerve with him, and that is why he evolved into this amazing new character with all of these different new layers that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, and it could split Nova and Micah if Micah sees the way he talks about Charley as an indictment of his skin color too. Because, already he's kind of getting it from his friends, kind of like, oh, you get the privilege of going to Paris and hanging out with these activists. So is she really also indicting him? And he's not even seeing the privilege of his skin color when he just got that gun put in his mouth.
But I do think that's in large part because he is rich. I think that has a lot to do with maybe what they said.
Yeah, but Nova didn't really distinguish that for Charley because she thought Charley was born into privilege and she cloaked herself with her skin color. So will Micah see that as part of, an indictment on him too. So I think that could also split them. But we'll see. Could go either way. Well, this is, Queen Sugar is making us think. They're giving us some layers upon layers. Guys, thank you for joining us. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Hey, guys, it's Miss Candy Marie. It's so good to have this amazing show back. You can find me on Instagram at Miss Candy Marie and on Twitter at Sweet Kendora TV.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Dontera Terrell, and you can find me on all social media at Dontera Terrell.
I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.